I'm Jim Wood. I was born in Roswell, New Mexico, and I was there when the spaceship crashed. My dad worked civil service at Walker Air Force Base, and he was there when they brought the debris in from the crash site and several flatbed trailer loads of debris. He was in charge ultimately in loading all of the debris into boxcars to send to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base for reconstruction. I don't know if it ever happened or not, and I don't know what happened to those boxcar material, but as they were loading them and as the train left, he discovered about a 12-inch by 12 piece of aluminum laying in between the tracks that had fallen out of one of the boxcars. So he threw it in the back of his pickup and brought it home. Rode around the back of that pickup for several months, I guess, and finally he was cleaning out the pickup one day and he swept it out, and I picked it up and wadded it up and threw it in the trash can and noticed that it flattened back out by itself after I wadded it up. I kept the piece of metal, and ultimately I ended up doing magic shows for the other kids in the neighborhood, and I charged them a nickel a piece to watch this piece of tinfoil flatten itself back out. But you could wad it up, lay it on the table, and it would flatten back out on its own. So that was my magic show. I ended up leaving a piece of metal in our clubhouse out by the barn, and it disappeared at some point. And by then I had all the kids' nickels that I could get for the magic show, so it was not a great loss. The story I got from a researcher that had called about the metal said that probably one of two things happened. Either kids that I was doing the magic show for, one of them's dad was in the military and he said something to his boss and the MPs came out and picked it up some night, or the other side would have been if the military found out, or they may have told my father to return it or else. And I never did ask him, and the subject never came up until he passed away about 10 years ago, so I never got to ask him about the details of that piece of metal. I found out a few years ago, and talking to one of the old colonels that was on his deathbed, said that the government had told all of the soldiers at Walker Air Force Base that if they disclosed any information about it, it would be an automatic dishonorable discharge. And that's how they managed to keep 2,000 or 3,000 soldiers quiet. I can't believe that a weather balloon would have that much metal in it, and it took 3 boxcars, I understood, to haul all of the debris out of there. So doesn't sound like a weather balloon to me. So I truly believe that there was the biggest cover-up of all time.